in case you're having a bad day, or even if you're having a good day, enjoy this video of some puppies playing in the yard. And if you're just listening, enjoy the peaceful music. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Marshal Kramer Show. I am Marshal Kramer, and this is my show, the place where I do my shit. Another day, another dollar, back here again at the cabin to record a podcast. This time, for the first time in a while, I'm finally joined by another guest, and it's nothing more than the one and only Brandon Abrahamson, now my roommate. And we're just kicking off to talk about, Brandon's going to tell the story of created anxiety attacks.
Oh, shit.
So night one, everybody heard about the Pocky one-chip challenge. It's literally like the 5th hottest thing in the world. The chips, I don't know, it's like 1.2 million Scoville units. The chips fucking hot. So to set the scene, it's a beautiful Sunday evening. Sun has gone down. Me and my boy have had a long weekend, and we're chilling. And it's probably 8:30, 8:45, and we've had the taco chips, Pocky chips, for about maybe 4 days. And then finally, just randomly, we were watching maybe something Matt Stoney did, and we're like, all right, let's go ahead and
tonight's the night.
Let's go ahead and do it tonight. And I think you said that, and I thought you were joking, but all of a sudden we set up the camera, and then he opened the chip, and I'm like, wait a minute, fuck, we're actually gonna do this? So we did the chips. We didn't last more than a minute before we needed milk. It was horrible. He described it as not paralyzing,
hopelessness.
It was absolutely hopeless because the chip was so fucking hot. And then we calmed down about 15 minutes later, and we're sitting down, relaxing, and trying to recuperate. That's where it leaves off. That's where I set the stage. Brandon, you can take over and tell the rest of the story.
All right, so I've told this story a few times, and the cause of that day was actually the night before. So Marshal and I had been partying for 10-ish weeks straight, and I think we had finally, or at least I, had enough of putting my body through it. So I think the hot chip is what sparked the anxiety. But I'd gotten this new sweatshirt from PacSun, and I wore it that night with no shirt underneath it, and that's important later on in the story. But after the Pocky chip, I'd went into the bathroom, thrown up the Pocky chip, and then revisited all of those hot moments, got it all over my face, and that kind of freaked me out. So finally calmed down, went upstairs, took a shower, and when I'm in the shower, I'm like looking down on my body, washing myself, and I look blue, like I had looked like a corpse, and in my mind it was kind of taking over my body. So I immediately thought heart attack, because like something with your blood or something with your heart. Get out of the shower, looking at my body in the mirror, and I'm blue. So then I start freaking out. Get out of the shower. Marshal just gotten home. I think he went to Taco Bell or something. And I come downstairs and I have my shirt off and I show him my arms. I'm like, do I look blue to you? And Marshal's like, yeah, you look blue as fuck.
Blue as shit, yeah. You
Super
did.
blue.
So then your vessels were all just popping. Yeah.
Yep. So then the confirmation is what scared me even more. Now somebody else has seen that I'm blue. Because I know sometimes I can create shit in my mind with anxiety or whatever, but now somebody else had confirmed it. So then I look it up online, and it's like, my skin is turning blue. That's what I searched. And
my skin is turning blue.
WebMD and
Help
shit
me.
is telling me that it's something wrong with your heart, either heart failure or your lungs are collapsing. There's not enough oxygen in your blood. So now I'm tweaking, because now there's a real medical condition behind me being blue. Try to lay down in my bed, sitting there for a little bit, freaking out. Pack up my shit and start driving home, because I didn't want to put it on Marsh, because this is early in our
moving in
and stuff. So I don't want to put this blueness on Marsh. So I thought, I want to go home. I want to be by my mom, just in case something happens. I have someone to drive me to the hospital. So I start driving home and walk into my house, and I'm yelling at my mom. I'm like, my skin is turning blue. I think there's something wrong. My mom has had panic attacks a shit ton in her life, and she just understood that it was an anxiety attack or something. And she's telling me, you're not blue. Little did I know, after a month of not seeing my mom, I'm walking into my house telling my mom that my skin is blue.
At probably 2 a.m.
At 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Tell me my mom would not think that
You're
I'm
on
on drugs during this.
Doing something, yeah.
So
recently just moved out. Yeah.
Yep. That day goes by. I go to the ER. They can't tell that I'm blue. I'd been to the ER twice for this. And the first time I went, or not ER, I'd been to the doctor twice for this. I went to the normal doctor the first time. And they were like, yeah, we can't see that your skin is blue, but normally that just means that there's low oxygen in your blood. So I'm thinking vaping, all that bullshit. A couple weeks later, we have another night of partying. And get home about 5 to the house in St. Michael, eat some Culvers, and I get in the shower. Same thing happens. I'm turning blue.
How many weeks later was this?
A week or two later.
A week later.
A week or two later.
Yeah.
And same thing happens. I'm blue. And I know that I had made no changes from the last time.
And the important thing is that both times it was Sundays. So it was after
Sundays, yep.
Now it's a Thursday right now, and we for a while we partied Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. So it was always like he thought it was drinking related. That was a big thing too.
Yep, and I just thought I was putting my body through it. My body's going
not sleeping, up all night.
Yep.
All that shit.
So I'm blue again, and I had made no changes. So I'm really disappointed in myself because when it first happened, the whole time that I'm blue and the whole time I'm freaking out, I'm thinking to myself, all right, I have to stop vaping. I have to stop staying out so late. I have to stop taking shit that I was taking. And so I made no changes, and I'm blue again. I'm like, fuck, I did this to myself. So this time I'm like a little bit more calm. I'm like, if you want this to stop happening, you just have to stop with the lifestyle that you're living. But then I get more and more in my head. Marshall was gone. I'm by myself in the house laying in bed. And I'm like, I got to go home again. What if this is a serious thing? Because on WebMD and shit, it says if you're turning blue, it's a serious medical condition. So I pack my shit. This is, again, at 11 o'clock at night, late at night. Pack my shit, start driving to Becker. Get on the main road in front of our townhome, going towards Albertville, and all of a sudden I can't feel my arms and my legs. And I had this really bad tingling in my feet, in my hands, and I was just frozen behind the wheel of my car. So that was when I first thought about pulling over. And then I'm like, no, like this just looks so bad. Like I felt like a tweaker. Like if a cop came up to me right now, he would not even understand what's going on. He would just think I was on drugs. So then I get on 94, and then it gets really bad. My head starts going like this. Serious safety risk. Almost pull over on 94 in construction. Decide to just breathe it out and get home. And little did I know the whole time that I'm heavy breathing and telling myself to now I'm over breathing.
Yeah.
And the lady in the ER had told me that all my gases in my body are off. That's why people breathe in paper bags. Because
okay.
you have to get that CO2 back in your body.
Okay.
So I'm breathing. It's making it worse. Walking to my house in Becker. My mom knew I was coming, but my dad had no idea. I just called my mom, and I was like, I'm on my way home. She's like, oh, another anxiety attack. So like I said, I've had them a couple times. So I walk in my living room. My dad like looks at me. He's like, hey, like a normal day. And mom's like, what's going on? I'm like, I just really, really don't feel good. I'm like shaking. Finally, I just hit the ground, collapse. And I come out of my blackout to my dad holding my arms, and I'm just screaming at him. I can't feel my arms and my legs. Shit. And my mom, because she's been through anxiety, she can tell me that it's an anxiety attack, but that doesn't help anything.
No, it doesn't.
So she's just going, it's anxiety. And my dad's going, you got to stop saying that. He's terrified out of his mind, clearly. So my dad's like, fuck it. Like, we're done doing this. We're just going to go to the ER. We're going to get you checked out. So we go out into the garage, and we're about to get in my dad's car. And my mom's like, do you want the front or the back seat? And I'm literally just frozen. I'm like, I don't know where I want to go. And me and my dad have rarely had emotional moments and moments in our lives where like we hug or like
true vulnerability.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Really
and
intimate, yeah.
When we're in the car, my dad has his hand on my thigh. That's like never happened before because he knew I was fucking terrified.
Yeah.
And it was just this big.
Regardless of what it was real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he could see it in my face. He's like, this kid is scared for his life because that's essentially what my body was doing, was fighting for my life. And so we're driving, and it's just this big wave. I'll calm down just a wee bit, and all of a sudden it just ramped back up. I feel like I'm not breathing well. We finally get to the ER. My parents like literally have to like walk me in like I'm an 80-year-old lady, and they sit me down in front of this lady to ask me questions because I'm an adult. I'm supposed to answer those questions myself. I can't have somebody behind me telling them what's wrong.
Yep.
I can't speak to them. My parents describe it to them. They just chalk it as like a mental health thing. So I go back into this back room, and this lady's taking my blood, and my hand's shaking so bad she can't even take my blood pressure. So then she takes my blood pressure, sees that it's fucking through the roof, and she starts rubbing my arm with this alcohol wipe, and I think they're about to fucking inject me with something to gear me the fuck down. She's wiping my arm, and then she raises like this alcohol wipe up to my parents and I, and there's blue on it. And she's like, have you been wearing anything blue? And at the time, right when she did that, I realized what the problem was. But then it's just embarrassment at that point. Yeah. So I go, no, I don't think so, because I want people to believe what I'm feeling, right? Yeah. I don't want them to debunk this situation, because the feelings to me were real. I felt like I was having a heart attack. I felt like my lungs were collapsing, all that shit. So it's just embarrassment. And I'm wearing this navy blue champion thing, and I'm like, well, this is the only blue thing I've worn in a long time, knowing what the cause of it was, this PacSun sweatshirt. So then I finally tell everyone, I'm like, yeah, I've been wearing this sweatshirt for a long time. And she's like, yeah, we pretty often have parents bring their newborns in that have been wearing blue baby clothes and are worried that their babies aren't breathing and turning blue or whatever. So then I said, fuck it. Like, I want to know if I'm healthy. We went back to the ER. They took a fucking look at my lungs and my heart, and everything was good. And then all this anxiety flows out of me. I feel amazing, but it's embarrassment because I want people to know the way that I was feeling, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I can't relate, I guess, but I understand what you're trying to say. But it was because, right, you didn't say that. It was because she walked up to your arm with a white cloth and rubbed it.
Yep.
And then held the cloth up, which is white, like a tissue, and saw it was blue. It was like, were you wearing something blue? That was the thing. That was like,
yeah, it was that blue PacSun sweatshirt, and it was because I hadn't watched it. It literally dyed my body. But the scary part of it all is, even after that wasn't the end, because my anxiety was so high the first time that I saw that I was blue that I saw my body turn blue. I didn't look down and see it to be blue. Yeah. I felt like I could see it kind of going through my body. You literally have
mild hallucinations that fit whatever was going on in your head. Physically, you could see it. Like, oh, it's there. Look at me. I'm turning blue.
Yep.
It's and like, you're palishly blue, kind of.
And like Marshall, I like watching the horrors and the serial killers and the murder stuff. So I've seen what to be perceived as a dead body, and that's what I thought my torso looked like.
Yeah.
Like I was just dead, essentially. And now I know, at least, and it helps with my anxiety a lot, that those situations were only caused by me, and they're only caused by being out and doing drugs and being a fuck. But
I like to look at it more like the one I wanted to get away from it, I'm going to tie it into here, is that like the anxiety and the depressiveness. We were talking off camera before we started the show, and how like I tend to think all the time that the way I think and the problems I have in my brain are the universal problems that all 100% of human beings have ever had. And I start to talk to more and more people that are, a lot less like me, I guess. And they're all like, no, like a lot of people don't have the anxieties, or they maybe have some depression, but it's a little bit here and there. Maybe it's seasonal. And some people are like, no, I don't have any of that depression or anxiety at all. Like they just don't deal with it. They deal with sadness and they deal with anxious feelings, but they don't ever label it as depression or anxiety. Yeah. And what I wanted to talk about was like the physicality of that, because this is what I imagine, right? So yes, you first created it in your head, but it's a physical sense. Anxiety is a physical sensation. Mm-hmm. It's let's just say a boost of cortisol and a boost of adrenaline in your body. And now it doesn't matter what type of thoughts you want to create. You have to wait for that chemical reaction to calm down. And that's maybe where those waves come. So then it just spikes your cortisol and you're literally physically anxious. You're in a fight or flight response. And then you try to mentally calm yourself down. And maybe you can fizzle down for a little bit, and then just one thought triggers that cortisol again.
Yeah.
Because your body's built to be anxious, right? Your body's built to be like, there's people going to kill me all over there's a bunch of different tribes. We don't know who these people are. There's animals out in the wilderness who can kill me, all these different stuff. That's what I imagine. I just think that's something to think about, is that, because even when you get into your sadness, know that it's going to have an end, and you just got to trust the process in the best way possible. It's so much easier said than done. Same thing with depression too. It's like, oh, I'm just sad right now, man. Marsh, you're just sad. It may be a day or two, 3, 4 days, a whole week, but it's eventually going to come back around and you're going to be happy. And again, it doesn't make it any less real. I don't want to delegitimize anybody's feelings or my feelings either, but it's like, depression and anxiety literally have anxiousness, sadness, happiness. I talk about all the time, are literal physical sensations. We could take your blood sample and a brain scan when you're happy, sad, mad, and we can see all these different chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that's neato, that how we can see it can be created, but then after the thought, once you already created that thought, it's just basically up to your body to recover and get unanxious. But it may take a lot longer than you possibly think.
Well, and when there's actual...
It's what I just think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not science, but...
When there's actual physical things wrong with you, like in that moment, I felt like I was going to pass out. I couldn't feel my arms and my legs. That just creates a snowball. So now I know I'm very anxious, but I can't just ignore that because now my body is showing signs of this. So it was so hard for me to understand that it was a panic attack because of the way that I felt. I was like, no one should feel like this. The only time you ever feel like this is, I believe, or I thought, would imagine, is when you're dying. And that's what it felt like. It felt like I was losing, like, the way I would describe it in my mind, it was like I thought there was not enough oxygen in my blood, so now I'm losing feelings in my arms and legs because they're dying off. They don't have any more blood, or they don't have enough this, that, and the third. And
I like the other thought too. Not liked it. I'm not trying to lessen that, but I'm like what you said about when you manifested the physical sensations, because you were light blue, but how I saw you blue, you may have saw yourself that blue. You know what I'm saying? Because you literally manifested the physical look to what your mind was thinking. And I think a lot about that. What about people who think they're ugly and they just get so their self-esteem is so low that they literally manifest when they look into the mirror that they see a different being than everyone else sees. Like, look at me, I'm just absolutely disgusting. Somebody who has body dysmorphia, bodybuilders, right? They're massive guys, and they look in the mirror like they're Chicken Joe from Surf's Up. That's how they feel they look like. And then like same thing with like people who have, speaking of your back pain, so someone goes like, oh, I have bad back pain, and then you start to think about it all day. You put mental emphasis on it, and then for some reason it starts to hurt more and more and more. I like that phenomenon, that like it's the reverse placebo. It's like you're making the physical sensation match whatever you thought, even though the physical stimuli is not there.
And that's all anxiety.
It is. But it's an interesting thing to contemplate because there's power in knowing these things. And that's why I think like you don't need to read a billion fucking books. Most books have the same, if they're in the same field, like most psychology books have the same type of core values and same types of core beliefs and theories that you don't need to keep reading. But you need to sit around and talk to yourself or talk to your mom and try to figure yourself out, talk to your significant other, your best friend. Because the next time something like that happens to you, I imagine you'll be more cooped for it. Be like, all right, no, we got to calm down here. There's something logical that I'm missing, that if I filled in here, it would calm me the fuck down. Same with my depression, or it's like, Mark, you're not really depressed. You just drank all weekend. And you got, what I call it is the moods. I've told you that before. I call that, if you drink a lot and you feel like sad the next day, I call that the moods. And I get it very often.
Anxiety.
He calls it anxiety. But I was so happy at night and I was all boosted with dopamine and cortisol, or like serotonin and stuff, so I'm all happy. Then I wake up in the morning and my body's like, oh, where's the alcohol to make us feel happy? We don't know how to do this on our own. But anyway, I think that's an interesting theory, especially like I think about it with body dysmorphia, people, or anorexia. Like they literally, I'll put a good picture on the video here of like a representation of it, but it's like a big jack guy standing in front of the mirror, and we see the big jack guy, but then in the mirror you see what he sees, and he's just like this little tiny guy. And it's like it's making that manifestation to match what you think about in your brain.
Yeah, you can completely, you can hallucinate. Like if it almost feels like you're on drugs when it's going on, because it's like, I don't know, it's just your mind can convince you to the point where physical stuff starts to happen. And what I lost my train of thought completely.
Hey, that happens a lot on the Marshal Kramer show in any podcast. But that's the best thing to make a tangent is. I don't know if he'll ever show it to you guys, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't think it's the truth. I don't think he can do this. But Brandon Abrahamson thinks he's really good with hot stuff. And he thinks he could eat a whole bag of extra flaming hot Cheetos.
I can literally eat anything.
Maybe I'll get a video one time at the house where we're relaxed and he'll eat a whole bag and I'll put it in one of these things. But I don't think he can do it. He thinks he can. He thinks it's a no-brainer, no problemo. But I think he's talking hot shit.
I can eat an entire bag of extra hot, flaming hot Cheetos, and Matt Stoney is not shit compared to me.
Matt Stoney's not shit, and we just talked about what happened to you when you eat hot shit. Hot shit is not shit for Abe's, or no, for Verse. With hot shit, Abe's is not shit.
You put me in a hot situation when I hadn't been partying all weekend, it's fucking goated. It's done.
Goated.
Game over.
Goated. Speaking of that, and this is the man we're gonna eventually, once I get some money here, we're gonna do the Shake Shack and Five Guys taste test, and we're gonna throw in Culver's there too. But I do feel now I feel after this week like I have joined the club who can give the ranks. I'm not there with the hamburgers yet, but I feel like I can give the national rank of fast food or fast casual chicken sandwiches.
Fair.
Because this week I finally had the Burger King Ka-Ching, which is their big. I know they have the other chicken sandwich on like a sub buns.
Is it Ka-Ching or Chicken?
Ka-Ching.
I always thought it was Chicken for some reason.
Oh, it is the Chick-King.
Yeah, Chick-King.
I was thinking money. No, it is, because the king for Burger King. I was thinking Ka-Ching for money. Oh, my God. Always money on my mind. Money on my mind. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Anyway, here's Marshal's, and we're going to, he can talk a little bit. He said everyone.
Sure.
But what's it?
Chick-King.
Chick-King.
But
the one he hasn't had.
I have
But you had the Culver's one, which is a Midwest brand.
I've had the Culver's one, and I've had the Burger King chicken sandwich before they got those weird hoagie
sub ones.
shows.
Yeah, those are disgusting. They're like those breaded chickens, and they're like the flat ones that you have at.
It's like a chicken
like
patty.
Chicken patty that you have at school. Kind of like a McChicken, but not even close to the taste. I just love a good McChicken, man. So number 5, I put the other ones I didn't include here were Arby's. Oh my God, Arby's. And then Hardee's, Carl's Jr., and then Culver's for the Midwest. Those are the ones I haven't had, but I also don't count them because I haven't seen them in the other rankings. Going for, like, Matt Stoney did the Taco Bell one. No. He said it was disgusting, and I was like, not going to have that. And then maybe he did one other one. Oh, I think he did, like, one of the West Coast, like it was Jack in the Box or something, maybe, and something we don't have. Maybe it was even Jollibee. It was maybe Jollibee.
Yeah, it was Jollibee.
It was Jollibee. So anyway, number 5 for me is the McDonald's chicken sandwich. Just like I talked before, I honestly think I fucking love a good McChicken, and I just had 2 the other day. Just somebody brought it over. What a nice guy. And I literally think that they're better than the chicken sandwich. You've had the McDonald's chicken sandwich.
I don't know if it's better.
I've only had one. You've had more though.
Yeah, and is it the nostalgia of the McChicken that keeps you going for that? Because clearly it's not better prepared. Like they throw the McChickens together. Like it's not shit. Like they just chuck them out. And the chicken sandwich, they go pretty hard on. Like they prepare it well. They put it in a nice bag and shit. I just have a huge problem with the tendons. And the McDonald's it feels like you're chewing through a sponge when you're eating.
My 2 things is with the chicken. I can't remember with the McChicken. They don't put pickles on there, right?
Nope.
But all chicken sandwiches do. So I'm not a pickle man. I'm really not even that big of a cucumber man. But I don't really like pickles. And I don't have the mac sauce. I probably would really like it if I have. But there's something about McDonald's mayo that I really like.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if the chicken sandwich even comes with lettuce. I really like lettuce on all my sandwiches.
You can get a deluxe, which most places you can get the deluxe. Yeah.
Because my mom, dad, and sister have all had the McDonald's big chicken sandwich as well too, and they liked it. And I just had it the one time, and it came with no sauce.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there, and I already drove away. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? So that got me irked. But yeah, not the best.
So number 5, McDonald's.
Number 4, and this is gonna piss a lot of people off because this is a lot of people's favorite restaurant, and they're gonna think, wow, what a low ranking for number 4. But that's, for me, the Chick-fil-A sandwich comes in at number 4 because these next 3 I think are much better. But going back to the sandwich styles, the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is much more patty type style.
Yeah, it is.
Than the
But it's a
big
good
breaded-
patty.
It's an amazing sandwich.
Yeah.
Now, no,
Yeah.
number 5, like McDonald's shouldn't even be up there. It should just be the top 4 here because McDonald's. It's like McDonald's is down here. I'll put a visual up for the video. But then the number 4 would be. They're all number 4 through 1. Any day of the week, I am fucking happy that someone brought those sandwiches to me.
And
So-
if the Burger King one wasn't decent, then I would almost say just don't rank any place unless they're known for chicken.
Exactly. But there's only 2 places really, and that's Chick-fil-A and Popeyes.
Chick-fil-A, Popeyes, Cane's.
Oh, Cane's is not included
KFC.
too, because I've not had their chicken sandwich, quote unquote. But if I was going to talk about that, kick that McDonald's out, and then like Cane's chicken would be number 5. I do like Cane's chicken, but I've never had their sandwich, which we saw. It looked like it was just 3 tenders on a patty bun,
Or
but,
a massive piece of
but
chicken.
whatever. I
yeah.
think it's pretty good, and I don't know. I'm letting you know this because it's fun to talk about, and maybe you should go out and support some billion-dollar restaurants, this during this holiday season. Leave a tip in the tip jar. But so I would not have done the Burger King one. I didn't even know they really had a baked chicken sandwich. But speaking of the guy we watched a lot, Matt Stoney, he did it and he raved about the reviews. So
yeah, yep.
I would have to try these 2 side by side because I was blown away by both of them. But number 2 I have, so 5 is McDonald's, Cane's would be 4.5, and 4 is Chick-fil-A. But my number 2 is actually tied between KFC's chicken sandwich and Burger King's ka-ching.
Which is fucked. It should not be
chicken.
like that.
It shouldn't. Burger King, I
King,
think,
yeah.
has disgusting food. Everyone always talked and hated on McDonald's, saying McDonald's is like disgusting and like low quality. I always thought that about Burger King.
Yeah.
I think it's just awful. Like their chicken nuggets are just awful.
I know. And their restaurants are always disgusting.
Disgusting,
Yeah.
dude. The worst. They look like they're
Yeah.
abandoned.
Mhm.
Most of the ones that we're around, and it's not like the bad side of town. Every one that I'm around, it's horrible. And 2, I delivered from them today again. They because they do those char burgers, so their smokestack is always
Yeah.
dumping. I don't know if
And
you
their
ever been
restaurants
to the,
reek.
They
Yeah.
reek, and then the whole area around them reeks. I don't know if you ever seen the one on 33rd in St. Cloud, the one right off 33rd, right off 33rd Division.
Yeah, I mean, I've
There's
been
an
to Burger
Applebee's right
King.
by
Yeah,
it. It's in the same
yeah.
mall as the Savers parking lot,
Yep.
XYZ. Kind of across the street from Panera there.
Oh, yeah. We
Yeah.
used to go there.
Seagulls
and just-
everywhere.
Mhm.
There's seagulls all over that parking lot because the smokestack smell, and then people just chuck their
Yeah.
nasty ass food outside because it's
Yep.
disgusting. But their chicken sandwich I just had the other day fucking rocked, and I can't even be
Damn.
fair to it. I'm really basing the KFC chicken sandwich off your recommendation, and then for me, the mouthfeel. Because to be fair to every other one here, I got to preface with this: when I did try the KFC chicken sandwich, I was coming off of COVID and I still couldn't really taste
Yeah.
it, but I could, and it looked good. The KFC, I think, always does a great job with their breading, and that's another one people hate on is KFC. I fucking love KFC. I think
Yeah.
it's bomb. But it's one of those places where if you get it to go, it's amazing, but if you go to the fucking buffet, it's disgusting.
They have buffets at KFC.
They're known for their $5 buffet. $5 buffet. Come in, all you can eat.
Never been to one.
Absolutely disgusting. But I would put those 2 at number 2. And of course, this is the chicken sandwich I have the most, more out of Chick-fil-A. And my number 1, hands down, can't be beat, is motherfucking Popeyes.
Never had it.
Love that chicken with Popeyes, yeah. I
I'm
think it's
pissed.
delicious.
I haven't had either of the front runners in
I think it's
burgers or
absolutely
chicken
delicious.
sandwich. Popeyes and Shake Shack.
Shake Shack, I haven't had
either.
those either. Yeah. No, I think their chicken sandwich is absolutely delicious. And then they have those Cajun fries. Then they have
Oh,
these really
yeah.
good mashed potatoes. And their biscuits are known to be super dry, but they gave me 2 packs of butter, and I thought it was delicious with everything I had. And I flip-flop between the mashed potatoes or the Cajun fries. Then, God, are they fucking good.
And there's a huge difference between ranking chicken sandwiches and the burgers because when you're doing the chicken sandwich, we're ranking fast food.
Yeah.
Which is weird because, like, imagine, like, ranking a McDonald's burger in, like, a burger list. It'd be, like, number 1,000, but their chicken sandwich is top 10.
Yeah. And it's funny how on every fast food restaurant, McDonald's has burgers, right? But they have some burgers that are just absolute trash. So like the basic
Yep.
hamburger, the McDoubles, those little patties are absolutely disgusting. But the quarter pounders, it feels like it's a whole different type of meat because it feels real. It really feels real, like the
Yeah.
quarter pounders or the Big Mac patties even. But like those little hamburger patties, Or like what comes out, I don't know if you ever had White Castle, which I think is ass.
Gosh.
That shit looks like clay.
Yeah.
It looks like injecting. If you ever seen the movie Good Burger?
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
It looks like that Montropolis place across the street that was trying to get Good Burger out of business, and they just were shooting jet. Or like one of the SpongeBob episodes.
Yeah.
Where I think it was Plankton who was squirting down the sludge and then coloring up. Yeah, something like that. That's what they fucking look like and taste like. It's disgusting.
Oh yeah, when the Krusty Krab goes mainstream.
Yes.
Then they start making clay,
yeah.
and then they paint them.
They painted them. Yes.
Yeah.
Ma'am, do you know what's in that Krabby Patty you're eating?
No.
Dude, that's what they look like to me and taste like.
Well, and I think
Absolutely disgusting.
I think the shittiness of those type of burgers come into play because like the Quarter Pounder and some burgers at Burger King, they make those there, but the shitty hamburgers and the White Castles, I think those are all like pre-made and they just put them on a heating.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And I think that's why they're so shitty.
There's something like that. And that's exactly what can happen at the Marshal Kramer Show. We can start with an anxiety attack and bring it all around to chicken sandwiches. The Marshal Kramer Show, it's affiliated by Get Upside. Get Upside is the money-saving app. You want to save on gas, you want to save on grocery, you want to save on eating out at a restaurant. Get Upside, promo code Marshal8455. That'll get you right away 15 cents off a gallon. Prices are going up. But guess what? You can have your bill go down. Do you want $200? Huh? Well, that's what you're probably going to save year after year, and you're going to go get groceries, right? Gotta eat. The grocery store that I live by has anywhere from 10 to 12 to 15% off daily deals. Cashback. Easiest app to use. Easiest app on the goddamn market. Support me while saving money yourself. Get Upside app. Promo code Marshal8455. Speaking of Marshal, Marshal Kramer Media also is an affiliate or sponsor of the show. They're paying me a bunch of money to do this. I know them right now. And they're the best. And you know what? We're going to throw it over to a personal testimony. A personal testimonial of a true client of the Marshal Kramer Media. Brandon Abrahamson, better known as Abe's. What was your experience with Marshal Kramer Media like?
So I pay Marshall around 15 to 20 grand per music video. And I've gotten double, triple my investment back just from going to Marshal Kramer Media. And the first couple that we did were for free. So I'm 1.52 million up.
And I can
just from Marshal Kramer Media.
And I can do something just like that for you too. You want to try me out? Let's do a little free teaser.
Andy takes you out to dinner. Takes you out to dinner too.
Take you out to dinner. And hey, baby, you know what happens after I take you out to dinner, right? Marshall's got all the packages, baby.
Book Marshal Kramer Media now.
And I'm the best dessert. So Marshal Kramer, you can find me on my IG, that's Marshal Kramer. You can DM me there, or you can go to marshalkramermedia.com and you can book your session today. Whether you need a video for your business that's been prime or senior photos taken on time, Marshal Kramer Media is the choice for you. All right, we're back to the show and going into my new favorite segment, In the Minnesota News with Marshal Kramer. In the Minnesota News today, we have got one of the local Griswold houses decorated with Christmas lights up in northern Minneapolis in a suburb of Blaine. It is the, I forget the house name. I feel like a jackass, but let me just bring that up right now. It is the Colada Christmas house in Blaine, and they got over, I'll just put a picture up here and a little bit of a video for those who are watching the show. And, you know, if you're listening to the show, maybe hop over to YouTube, you know, give it a little like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, you know. We'll build a bigger family there. But over 30,000 lights, and they're open from 5 p.m. to 10:30 every night, collecting donations for the Union Gospel Mission. And pictures are included, and I will put the address and all the details down in the description for any of you local Minnesota residents who want to bounce over to Blaine and check out that awesome lighting that these guys do. You can tune into the radio show. You can tune into a radio station when you get there. I'll have that in the description too. And you can watch the lights bounce to the music that's playing along.
And this
the
is
radio. Someone's
crib?
Yeah, a house. There's a lot of houses in the Minneapolis area. I was just reading an article about that's what this house looks like. That's nutty as fuck.
That's even more than the Griswold one.
Yeah, they went nuts. And that's a photo of last year, but they're doing it again. They've been doing it every year and stuff like that. So then those lights will like bounce and stuff and flicker compared to the bass of the music or whatnot, if whatever was on the radio station.
Nice. So we should go and we should do some Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
And then we'll throw that in there so everyone can see it. But there's actually a house in St. Michael that does the same thing too. They got a radio station, everything. I should bring you right over. It's just right off Main Street there. I delivered to the neighbor, and I was driving up there. I saw a car starting to pull over. I go, what the fuck? Like, get out of the way. And I saw the light dancing, and then they got this big sign that says tune into, 87.9 and listen to the...
And it's just someone's crib that they decide to decorate.
Yeah, and go all out.
Nice.
They go all out. I don't know. I see a lot of people syncing up music to their lights, so there must be a business that makes that easy for you, because that's got to be difficult to do. But yeah, some of these houses look super cool. So again, if you're a Minnesota local and you want to check that out, I think that's pretty cool. And you can give donations, again, going to the Union Gospel Mission. So that'd be really cool.
To be honest, I haven't seen very many better neighborhoods than Becker for Christmas lights. You go like ish area where used to live. They have really cool Christmas lights over there. And I've never seen neighborhoods like that. It's like every single house is just lit up.
I love that. And that's the thing. It's like usually it's like peer pressure. So if your neighbors go up, then you go up.
Yeah.
I was back at home last weekend, and Mom was like, we were doing like the decluttering of all the decorations. She's like, all right, can you put this one out? Can you go out and put this out? She's like, we're just losing to our neighbors, and because all our neighbors are all decorated and stuff. And it looks really cool. It honestly does. Dude, there's like, I was just talking about on the last podcast about like winter ruts and whatnot. And man, I cannot tell you how much I love the cold weather all the way to the second week of January. And then I'm fucking over it. But there's just such a magical, cozy feeling that every winter brings. When the fall starts too, it kind of brings that way. Maybe it's a change of the season, but God, I just love Christmas time when people are into it, not all bah humbug and shit. But
no, when the Christmas lights are out and it's like a week before Christmas, especially in high school, and you would get home on a Friday and go out on your Friday night little party adventures, and you'd pull out of your neighborhood and it's a shit ton of Christmas lights. It just got me gassed every single time.
It's cool just to drive through. But there's another area I have to bring you. Oh my God, it's in the town of Rogers, Minnesota, which is, I would say, 30 miles outside of Minneapolis. And there's this one part that I drive by every day, right off this road. And if you go into the development right off this road, you can see even better just sitting still. And it's on top of this hill, the largest hill in literally central Minnesota, because in the other direction, I can see the smokestacks of the Becker XL thing, easy money. So I can see 30 directions that way, and then the other 30 directions is the skyline of Minneapolis. And at night, it's this hill. All you see is Minnesota, farm fields and trees. And then off in the distance, 30 miles away, especially during night, is just this lit up skylight of Minneapolis. I'm going to take a picture and hopefully put it into one of these podcast episodes coming up here to show people. I think it's just absolutely stunning. It's so gorgeous. It'd be cool just to sit there and listen to a few songs while you're just staring at the skyline. I think that's so cool.
I'm a whore for a skyline.
Yeah,
it's
skylines
like
are super cool.
Crazy.
I'm not a big. I love to do stuff in the city, but I don't like to live in the city. But the view of it, man. Or if I lived in the city, man, I'd want to be up more than like 12 floors, because I'd want to be like have a cool fucking view. But
have you been to New York?
Nope. My mom said I would love it.
Oh, Times Square, Marsh. You would fucking love Times Square.
I figured I would do fine in it, but like I talked about it many times, the summer was the first time I ever went to Chicago, and I was like, whoa. Like, this is a real fucking city. Yeah. There is tall building after tall building for miles, for like 3 miles all along Lake Michigan. And Minneapolis and St. Paul combined don't look shit like that. They don't look nearly as big. I was like, it was so overwhelming that when you got in the city, man, it was hard to look up. You couldn't see the sky. It was like stoplight after stoplight. I'm like, I've never experienced this before. LA doesn't even have that type of skyline. I go, this is absolutely fucking insane. I don't even think San Fran has a skyline like this. I was like, this is nutty. Too many fucking buildings for me. But I think I would enjoy New York.
And
I enjoyed Chicago.
It's a give and take, because I've been to New York, seen Times Square, just visiting, and then it looks cool. But New York City is depression rates off the wazoo, because you can't fucking see the sun.
You can't see the sun. You can't even go outside. There's no room to run. You're like, we outside.
Oh, you want to know where I'm at? We outside.
Because what do you do in New York besides go to the bottom of your apartment complex and then stand around the streets.
Walk
and talk.
around in the streets.
That's literally all you can do. And that's a whole
see the craziest shit you've ever seen.
That's
in
a whole
your
different.
life.
That's a whole different life. I talked about them. I'll shut them out once again. Ear biscuits and those guys. They grew up in, Boys Creek, North Carolina, like a Becker type situation in the South, and their kids have grown up in L.A. And he's like, they all were talking about their kids who are now 17, 18, 16, blah blah blah. They're like, to see what they're into and their daily stuff and how none of them really have interest to drive and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and then they'll have to snap sometimes and be like, oh, wait, my kids are city kids. And one time, one of the dads asked their kid, they're like, what would you do if we loaded a canoe up to our car and got your best friend and drove you to the river and just dropped you off? And then you called us 6 hours later as you floated down the river and we came and picked you up. They're like, what? Like, that's fucking nuts. We're in LA.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And he goes, we did that every day. We just ran away. Mom would be like, where are you? And she'd be like, he's either with Dylan Munson or Adam Baum. And he went with Dylan or Adam. Like, he has to be. I'd just be gone, and I'd pop up when I pop up. But
you can do that in towns.
You can do
like
that
Becker,
in towns and in the country and whatnot. I mean, it's primarily safe.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we live in a town where a car that doesn't drive by often has everybody on alert. They're going, what's this car?
Yeah.
I don't see this car very often. Or if it pulls into your cul-de-sac, pulls into your neighborhood, no. All alerts ears are up, our eyes are wandering, and like, what's going on here? You can't do that with a city because anyone could be your father and also your murderer.
I could have left my house in Becker at 10 a.m. Left my house at 10 a.m. and been in L.A. before my parents would even call Jason Bojik's mom and be like, hey, seen Brandon? No, he hasn't been here all day.
That ass. Nope. Well, hey, Ma.
And you could see me on the news in L.A.
Hollywood, right? Hollywood beside you. Before I go, I'm going to shout out. I got a shout out today. I got a shout out to all restaurants, stores, bars, everything that has music in their bathroom. You know what, man? Shout out and pat on the back from Marshall, because I am one of those guys who I just pucker up when it's silent. And today I was in Panera and there's just a urinal and a stall, and I went to the urinal and this guy was having it. He was really struggling. He really needed it. He was really needing it. But guess what? Panera had that shit blasting.
Yeah.
So shout out specifically to you, Panera, and any other place that does that. Get that restroom music up the wazoo. We don't want to hear no...
And make it rave music.
You make it loud. Make it
music.
something not ambient like what's in the restaurant. If it's like a coffee shop, have ambient jazz music in the coffee shop and in the bathroom just, yeah, screaming.
I've never even thought about that.
Absolutely. Well, I did today. And I was like, it made it so much less awkward. And I know it did for him too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, man, we got the music. We're all good. But speaking of music, do you hear that? Do you hear that?
It's coming.
Oh my
God.
God.
Who's this dickhead?
Oh my God, it's an Abe song taking us out and ending the Marshal Kramer show. Wow, what a beautiful song.
Yeah.
Thanks for everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. Really appreciate that. And until next time, folks, take care and scoot boot. Toodaloo.
Do not listen to my music.
My damn checks, and I don't fuck with you unless you got my damn bag. It's all over the place when I go off the top. I might say I love you, then tell my friends that you a thought. The winter's cold and